If pathological narcissists are looking for a surrogate mother or father, then why would they abuse that surrogate parent rather than understanding the dynamics of parent to child? When you are dealing with a pathological narcissist, essentially you're dealing with someone with Peter Pan syndrome. The Peter Pan syndrome or Peter Pan complex describes individuals that failed to make it to adulthood. So while physically this person may be an adult, understand that spiritually and psychologically they are closer to being a toddler. And most pathological narcissists are between the ages of about 5 and 12 years old. Pathological narcissists must abuse because they are in victim abuser consciousness. If someone did not develop past their lower ego, they only have these low level emotions available to them. So this means that their behavior is going to be irrational because they did not make it to the level of rational thinking. Rational or linear thinking is where accountability and technically common sense really comes in, and this is in the fourth dimension. This is why I always say that pathological narcissists are people that are stuck in the third dimension. So that is the first, second, and third dimension. It is victim abuser consciousness. Pathological narcissists failed to individuate from their parents, and this is why it's almost like they don't know where they end and you begin, because you're dealing with an attachment disorder, so it is also a detachment disorder. Simply put, pathological narcissists do not have understanding to give to you. Similarly, they do not have love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, courage, acceptance, etc. They simply did not develop to that level of awareness. It is not normal for an adult to be looking for a surrogate mother or father. That in itself is actually the problem, because this is a symptom of arrested development. Because again, pathological narcissists did not individuate. They did not become an individual. So essentially, you are dealing with toddlers in adult bodies. And what do toddlers do? Well, they throw tantrums. However, the problem here is that we are dealing with adults. And when adults throw tantrums, then it's going to be domestic violence or other types of intimate partner violence. The best quote that I have encountered that really summarizes this behavior is from healer, author, and shaman Malidoma Patrice Somé, where he states, "If you keep a person in an adolescent state, then they will act militaristically." Militaristically here means violent. This means that you're going to be dealing with a very violent person. And pathological narcissists are people that are rooted in their shame and they are unable to move past their pride. So the best feeling emotions that they have access to is pride. And if it's not pride, then it is anger. And this is why pathological narcissists must abuse the people that they get into relationships with. When I talk about victim abuser consciousness or the third dimension, the first, second, and third dimension here, understand that equality does not exist. Somebody must be the master and somebody must be the slave. Somebody must be the abuser and somebody must be the victim. And it is important to remember that pathological narcissists have a superiority complex to hide their inferior nature, because again, they're really based in shame. And the shame that we're talking about here is pathologically low self-esteem. So you're dealing with someone that do not have access to love, and they do not have access to empathy or compassion or higher level emotions. Pathological narcissists do not believe that they are equal to you. So while they may be looking for a surrogate parent, they have to abuse you because in their mind, in their belief system, they must be above you, right? So if they are the abuser, then you must be their victim. They want to be master, so you must be their slave. They actually despise that they have to rely on you for certain things that they technically should be able to do for themselves. You are dealing with people that are filled with darkness on the inside. So if darkness is on the inside, then darkness will eventually come on the outside. If you squeeze an orange, right, you must get orange juice. If you squeeze a grape, you will get grape juice. And what pathological narcissists have inside of them is deep amounts of shame that they have not dealt with since their childhood years. They have immense amounts of guilt, again, unprocessed, because they're not dealing with these negative emotions. They have a whole lot of anger, and it metastasized. It got worse, which is where we get the term narcissistic rage from. Toxicity inside will eventually bleed outside.